Hey everybody, welcome back to Starfyre Gaming. I am Sir Joseph, and this is episode 63 of our Let's Play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We are playing with our soldiers right now. We just came up here and did Wooljif's little side story. So we're going to bring this army up here, clear out some demon armies. Do a little exploring with them. Take out these level 5 guys. Air Elementals. Ooh, bonus shot! Bonus shot! I like getting bonuses. I like cultists with their AoE attacks. Bonus shot. Infirmary is still doing good. Let's go ahead and finish off this guy. Shoot this guy here. Oh, wow. I thought he was going to finish him off. Let's finish him off with the clerics. And now you just got to whittle down these air elementals. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, good. Or water elementals is what I meant to call them. And now just 2 left. It should be just a matter of a couple of minutes. Well, not minutes, but moments here. It should be the end, which it is. Alright, infirmary did its job. We received this axe, a light pick, unidentified. Looks like the commander of this unit must have taken part on the attack at Canabras. What else would explain the item looted from the chest from the Tower of Estrad Museum that the Crusaders found? And now we're out of movement to continue on. This looks like this will bring it down here. We'll probably hit this, or maybe it'll take us into the Temple of the Good Hunt. I want to come up and grab this one here. We're getting into tougher demon armies up here. So we got this guy over here. And then, of course, we still got these 6 and 7 demon armies this way. It's a lot of damage, so we're kind of... These guys are starting to build up a little bit. And then we got these guys we can buy. We're really low on points, so buying these guys isn't going to really be helpful. Well, It would be helpful. I don't have a place to put them as part of it, too. All right, so let's go to us. Making our way back to Drezen so we can do the next step on Wolgift's story. And then also we can head out and we can put the Ranger Girl back into the party. And I have a feeling now that we have things that are going to happen. Sword of Valor glows as if in greeting. The glow is so bright it's not immediately clear there is another source of light present. The shimmering golden wings of a magnificent angel.
Valiant champion of Golarion, allow me to greet you. My name is the Hand of the Inheritor, and I am the Herald of Iomedae, the Lightbringer.
The face of the angel is hidden by a helm, but his eyes are clearly looking at you. When he begins to speak, there is an undercurrent of excitement in his resounding, proud voice. The angel then drops to one knee before you, his grace belying a monumental stature. Please arise. Such displays are unnecessary.
I am only giving you the credit you deserve, valiant champion. We have much to discuss, champion. You must have many questions for me, and I for you. First of all, I wish to say that I have come here to do what I can to help you. But also because I too need your help. But what I need most of all is an answer to a question that has been troubling me.
If you are here, does that mean I truly am Iomedae's chosen?
What does your heart tell you?
The angel asks inquisitively. We'll go with the second one there. Nothing. I gained these abilities out of nowhere and have no idea what to do with them.
For someone wandering in the darkness of ignorance, you have stumbled upon the path of righteousness with surprising alacrity. You thwarted Descari's plot in Canabris, fought your way through the lands conquered and corrupted by demons, reclaimed Drezen, and reclaimed a great relic, the Sword of Valor, seizing it from profane hands. Who could have achieved more? Listen, I cannot answer yes or no to your question, for it would not be an honest answer. Do not wait for me to say, here is the power bestowed upon you from on high, and this is the task you must complete. That will not happen. For my lady Iomedae, righteous queen of heaven, may mark a mortal with her blessing, but she would never seek to impose her will. Sometimes even I am not privy to her plans. I have come to you not at her command, but of my own accord. But I would recognize the light in heaven in any soul, and I see it in you. I can only guess how and why it was lit. Perhaps finding the answer to this question is a trial you must undergo.
I have so many questions for you. Will you tell me about Iomedae and heaven?
Most certainly, with great pleasure. But first, let's discuss the issues of the day. I'm sure we'll have time to talk after that.
I'll answer your questions, but then I'll just say no. Excuse me. What did you want to ask?
I sense astonishing power in you, akin to my own. But not just that. Many of Heaven's warriors fought the monsters of the World Wound, and among them there was one I especially cherished. My young comrade and friend, Loriel. He and his sister Targona crafted holy weapons, and exchanged them as a sign of loyalty and camaraderie. Loriel and Targona both disappeared in those dark years when we lost Drezen and the Sword of Valor. Even I failed to find any trace of my friends. But you carry an echo inside you, the memory of Loriel's sword. How did this come to be?
When you say I carry an echo of Lorelai's sword, what do you mean by this?
Yes, I recognize this power as mortals recognize the voice of a dear friend. It's so sad to know I will never again see the one to whom this sword once belonged. But to see its light still shining in worthy hands gives me hope.
The angel makes a gesture as though wanting to touch the light, but stops himself at the last moment. His voice is soft and sad. I received the sword in the caves beneath Canabras. I had a vision in which Lorelei was betrayed, and he died protecting his mortal companion.
Yes, that sounds like him. He loved mortals, and understood them better than many of us celestial warriors did. Or at least, he thought he understood them. But you say the vision visited you in the caves beneath Canabras? I see now. The suffering of the first Crusaders, whose children were maimed by the demon's strange villainy, was a matter very close to Loriel's heart. For most of us, our only concern was defeating the demons. But Loriel wanted to protect mortals above all else. I think he went into those caves in search of the people who came to be known as mongrels. But demons often use our virtues to hurt and torment. They turned a rescue mission into a deadly trap. They will pay for this sin and others. Forgive me for my outburst, and thank you for your story. At least now I know what fate my dear friend suffered.
You hear the angry rumble of the angel's voice. Do you know anything about the people who accompanied Loriel to the caves? Most of them were traitors, but one girl stood against them, and she perished.
Alas, I do not know the names of traitors or the heroine. Loriel died shortly before the World Wound opened its mouth for a second time, devouring new lands. Many Crusaders disappeared in those dark days of chaos. The lists of the dead and missing were long. I assume the names of Loriel's companions were lost along with them. Perhaps those traitors are honored as fallen heroes today.
Do you know who killed Lorelei, whatever that angel's name is? The creature resembled Discari and possessed immense power.
Many demons in the Abyss mimic the appearance of their repellent master, but I do not think it was a Darachni or a similar beast. I find myself reluctant even to utter this name under the skies of Golarion, but there is a monster who takes special pleasure in killing warriors of heaven.
The angel is silent for a moment. I can read, really. His fists clenching angrily.
It's called the Echo of Discari, for it truly is an echo. Not a demon born of the Abyss, but an artificial creation of the Lord himself, wrought by him and several of his mortal followers. I sense his fetid mark in this tale. The Echo likes to strike by stealth, weaving an intricate web of lies and treason, and he despises everything connected to heaven and Iomedae. I am not in the least surprised that he hunted Loriel down.
I have no more questions.
I do. This story is not over, and I humbly ask for your help.
What help would the herald of a goddess need from me?
I will ask for help not for myself, but for the righteous souls who may be in danger. Listen, I am going to reveal a secret to you that no Crusader has known before, except for the righteous Queen Galfrey. The demons believe their control over the world wound is absolute, especially at its heart, the corrupted lands near the Threshold Fortress. But this is not true. There, in that web of evil, lies an enclave of the forces of good, the last shrine of ill-fated Sarkoris. That place is called Pelura's Fall. The Shimmering Maiden is an Imperial Lord, our comrade and friend. She was able to conceal her temple from the eyes of the demons, and keep it hidden all these years, from the opening of the world wound until this very day. The waterfalls that gave name to the temple have run dry, but not the bravery of those who stood guard when their nation fell. The servants of Pelura have an important mission. They explore the world wound from the inside, looking for ways to close it once and for all and restore the lands of Sarkoris. They have risked their lives, forsaking all joys and rewards in pursuit of this goal, and they have been busy with their research for 100 years. Secrecy is their only protection. If that is lost, all the forces of the Crusader army will not be enough to protect the temple. I would not reveal this secret to anyone else, but the light of heaven is so bright in you that I cannot help but trust it. Moreover, I would like you to visit Pelura's Fall with me. There are 2 reasons for this. First, I am worried about the fate of our valiant allies, and I want you to meet them, champion. Second, I would like you to show them the light of L'Ariel's sword. As I mentioned, this sword was created by his sister Targona. She went missing at the same time as her celestial brother. We found no evidence of her death nor any other trace of her. But by touching the sword she made, the seers of Pelura might shed some light upon her fate. Please, help me in this task. My heart yearns to find my lost comrades, or to punish those responsible for their deaths.
Tell me about Pelura.
She is an Imperial Lord, a powerful angel, one of our most important allies, and my loyal friend. She is the mistress of the stars, and the mysterious light of the Aurora. Sarkoris was the land where Pelura was revealed with particular fervor, where her most important temples were located. When the demons came to this poor land, the priests and devotees of Pelura accepted the challenge bravely. Many died protecting and healing their friends in the first years of the calamity. This saddened the Shimmering Maiden. Pelura boldly decided to intervene in the affairs of mortals, and used powerful spells to hide her main temple. Even the strongest of demons cannot find it.
Tell me about the temple and the people who lived there.
Pelura's Fall was once a great Sarkorian shrine. From the city of Iz and other lands, the burial barges of great chiefs would go there to set off on their last journey into the mighty streams of the falls. But the temple was famous not only as a final resting place. Pelura is the patron of stargazers. Her servants possess celestial wisdom. In reading the stars, they discover the mysteries and secrets of the world. In times of old, people would seek their counsel on many different matters, and they were respected and honored throughout Sarkoris. Today, Pelura's Fall is not what it once was. 100 years of isolation has placed an unbearable burden on the shoulders of the stargazers and their guards. But they persevere, despite the hardships. You should meet these people, for you could not hope to find a better example of self-denial and resilience.
The angel falls silent for a while, then says sadly, I want to know more about Targona and L'Ariel. I think it's L'Ariel.
Heaven's grief at their loss could not be any greater. L'Ariel and Targona were daring and merciful in equal measure, and relentless in fighting evil. They called each other brother and sister because one soul was used to create them. Yes, it happens. Sometimes an angel is made of many souls, or the essence of the upper planes. And sometimes, one soul can give life to several supernatural creatures. This was the case with Targona and L'Ariel. When the world wound opened, they were the first to go to the mortal's aid. Alas, heaven was in extreme upheaval after great Arodin died. When the evil mind of Arilu Vorlesh, paired with the will of cursed Discari, shook the foundations of the world, while the other angels and Imperial Lords were slowly waking up to the disaster that was unfolding by holding councils and getting bogged down in speculation, Targona and L'Ariel were already fighting demons, leading refugees out of the fallen Sarkoris, and trying to find out what had happened on Golarion and how to deal with it. For what had happened was so monstrous, so extraordinary, that even Heaven did not know what to expect next. When Mendev answered the challenge of the Abyss and became the Kingdom of Crusaders, Targona and L'Ariel shared the hardships and glories of the First Crusade with their mortal comrades. And then they both disappeared. First L'Ariel, and then his sister immediately after. I was unable to search for them the moment I found out, for the world wound had just reopened and Drezen had fallen. It was a tremendous blow for everyone. By the time I was able to begin the search, the tide of chaos had swept away all traces of them. Only your arrival has shed some light on the sad fate of L'Ariel.
I need to settle other matters before I go to Perlura Falls. Or are we ready to go right now? Ah, screw it. I'm ready to go to Perlura Falls right now.
Before we go, I must share my concerns with you. I have no wish to doubt you, champion. However, I see shadows in your soul. Shadows that Heaven's chosen, that servants of good and order ought not to have. Please, reflect on how you can heal this ailment. I will be glad to accompany you. Gather your companions and let us depart.
All right, let's see if we should have waited or if this was a mistake to go. It's not like chaos, though. The woman's face seems to glow with a radiant light. She looks at you with quiet dignity, and her eyes shine with warmth and wisdom. Greetings, herald of Iomede, the Lightbringer, and to your companion as well. I am Elisandria, High Priestess of Perlura. I am happy to see a new face in my temple, the first I have seen in all our years of our vigil. The man standing next to Eliandra does not look like a priest. He has a military bearing and his face is covered with scars. He studies you for a moment, then looks you straight in the eye. Katier, leader of the Holy Guards of Perlura's Fall. I see you have revealed our existence, Hand of Inheritor. Did we not agree to keep a secret, even from the Crusaders? What has changed? My righteous allies, this is no ordinary Crusader, but our champion. He brings us hope. He was chosen to receive the gifts of the gods, and has twice dealt a serious defeat to our enemies. First in Canabras, where he thwarted Dascari's devious plot. Then in Drezen, where he saved the city and returned the Sword of Valor. I ask that you receive him as a welcome guest, and as a brother in arms, for we stand together against the hordes of the Abyss. I am Joseph Starfyre, Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I am honored to meet the servants of Perlura and the defenders of Sarkoris. Iliandra lays her hand on her heart. It is an honor for us as well. Tell me about your mission. Why did you decide to remain here in the World Wound? This temple has been blessed by Perlura. Whether it is day or night, the stars are always visible within the heart of the sanctuary. It is why those who study the stars conduct their observations here. Moreover, if we ever hope to understand the World Wound, the only place to study it is within its very borders. If we leave Perlura's fall, all the work we have done over the past 100 years would be lost. You may be wondering why this work is so important. The answer is simple. We are looking for a way to heal the World Wound, once and for all. Through our many years of study, we have discovered that the World Wound cannot be closed like an ordinary portal or a planar gate, because it is too much like a living creature, always growing and changing. The World Wound does not simply exist on its own. There is something else that sustains it, and until we understand what that is, our efforts to close it will never succeed. However, we have achieved much over the years. We have disproved numerous theories and trialed various research methods. Tracking oscillating energy levels across the World Wound led us to an important discovery. The World Wound has a heart, of sorts, at the place where the wound was first opened, the Threshold Fortress. We also found a way to weaken the heart, along with the demons that inhabit it. We will imbue a mighty artifact with both the power given to us by Perlura and the memory of the priests of Sarkoris. It will weaken the connection between the Threshold Fortress and the Abyss. The artifact will clear the skies above the fortress and set the sacred northern stars ablaze. Even if this doesn't heal the wound, it will give strength to those attacking its monstrous heart. I have all the resources of the Crusade at my disposal. I'm sure we can assist you in your work. I do not think that's possible. This is our life's work. It requires endless devotion and can only be completed by followers of Perlura in her sacred temple. No one can aid us in this task. However, Iliandra hesitates. There is other work we were forced to abandon because we lacked the strength, time, and resources. We previously explored the possibilities of opening new world wounds or improving the existing ones. What? Did you know the wound has already undergone a growth spurt of sorts? It's not entirely clear what happened, but the wound suddenly began to expand at a rapid pace, and the energies of the abyss poured out of it. We tried to discover what triggered this event so that we could prevent it from happening again. Research on that subject ended several decades ago, but we can give you something we managed to discover. However, you should be careful. This is dangerous knowledge, and it must not fall in the wrong hands. What is the situation in Perla's Fall? Things are no better or worse than they have been over the past 100 years. The temple is safely hidden from the prying eyes of demons. They simply cannot see it. However, only the most experienced fighters leave the boundaries of the temple, and they do so secretly, for the heart of the World Wound lies beyond its walls, demons and foul corruption. Even the corpses of our own dead have turned against us. You say you've been living here for 100 years. You don't look that old. That's a rather uncomfortable subject for us. But, by the will of Lady Perula, all the inhabitants of the temple live longer than normal lifespans allotted to mortals. We have no need for the sun orchid elixir, as our queen does. The power of the stars sustain us. We will face Pharasma's judgment only when we fulfill our mission or our temple falls. The Hand of the Inheritor and I have a matter to discuss with you. My righteous allies, allow me to tell you about the matter that brought us here. You knew Torgona and Laralee, the angels who defended Sarkoris in the final dark days. Joseph Starfyre helped me to discover the fate of Laralee, and it was, alas, sorrowful. But I have not lost hope of finding Targona, and I believe you can help me. Joseph Starfyre has a special gift, the imprint of Lorelai's sword. The sword was made by Targona. I know it is within your power to look for the creator of this blade, if Joseph Starfyre reveals its power to you. Eliandra and Kater exchange glances. Of course we would not deny help to our allies. My lady Perlura would also be glad to see Targona's return, should we manage to find her alive. But the scrying ritual requires preparation. I will give the necessary orders. You will have to wait until everything is ready, and the stars favor our efforts. We will help, but it would be best if you leave Perlura's fall after the ritual. Forgive my bluntness, Hand of the Inheritor, but you and the Knight Commander are notable fighters. The demons are surely trying to track you, and if they follow you to our temple, our work will come to a tragic end. Eliandra's eyes drift over to one of the guards, and she's silent for some time. Then she says softly, I would like you to be our guest for a while, Commander, while you wait for the ritual. See the way we live, talk to our people. Maybe news of the Crusades revival will bring some cheer to our little community. I would ask that you pay special attention to the temple guards, as well as the stargazers Odin, Regnard, and Teriel. Dark clouds veil their souls, but it is not within my power to help them. You should honor her request, champion. Eliandra is one of the most radiant souls I know, and Kater is one of the most loyal and devoted. They have spent 100 years together with their comrades in voluntary isolation. It would be easy to lose one's clarity of perspective. I do not know mortals well enough to sense whether doubt or despair lives in their hearts or those who dwell in the fall, but perhaps you can. All right, let's look at our journal here. The enemy, we still have to do that. Explore the Ivory Sanctum. The dragon hunt is a terrible thing. Visit the Blackwater clan settlement. Alright, so this does have to be done during this period, so that's good. Change alignment toward good and order. Hand of the Inheritor has stated the criteria of becoming a true angel. A little more good, a little more order. When that goal is reached, it would be worthwhile to inform the goddess's herald. Alright. So we're a little more chaotic than order, and he wants us to be more good, more ordered. Gotta talk to Wooljiff in Drezen. Man, we're nowhere near Drezen. And still improving those things. Alright.
Let us be off.
Alright, the map is big. The guard stands at attention when he sees you, but his eyes glow with excitement. Whoa! I didn't think I would ever see a new face around here. Well, at least not one that isn't burying its fangs or decomposing. Forgive my bluntness. Everyone's happy you're here, of course, but I'm especially glad to see you. Sorry, I'm just talking nonsense now. I tend to start blabbering when I get nervous. How does it feel to guard the same place for so many years? To tell the truth, I don't even notice the years pass. I just end up I just get up every day and do my job. Of course, I could go visit the scholars, look at the calendar, and be horrified. But what would be the point? Even before the demons showed up, I made a vow to defend this temple. A vow that I have. The vow is all I have left, really. The Sarkoris I knew is gone, and there's no use dwelling on the past. You're especially happy to see me? What does that mean? The guard looks around quietly to make sure no one is listening. I would have never thought I'd say this, but there's an important matter that can only be entrusted to a stranger. I think there's a traitor amongst us, someone who is trying to bring the demons here. I found a strange letter in a cave, and I think we need to find out who left it there and why. Why haven't you told Eliandra or Kater about the letter? Just imagine what would happen if Eliandra announced there's a traitor amongst us. Even if it turns out I'm wrong, the damage will already be done. If we stop trusting one another, we don't stand a chance. We might as well leave the temple and let the demons finish us off. No, we need to get to the bottom of this, but it must be done quietly. What was in the letter you found? That's the problem. I don't know. I think it's some kind of code. It looks like a constellation chart, but who hides a constellation chart in a cave? Not something. No, something's wrong here. All right, I'll try to help. What do you need me to do? Here's a plan. You'll go to the cave and hide behind a large stone covered in runes. Watch to see who comes in here. See who comes in to pick up the letter. I left it there as bait. And I made sure to leave everything else untouched. No one has come for it yet. But when you find out who's betrayed us, come and tell me. Why not set up an ambush yourself? I wouldn't be able to do anything without people noticing. Whoever left the note knows when I'm here in the corridors and when I'm off duty. If I suddenly disappeared, the traitor will definitely suspect something. No, for this we need an outsider, someone who can move around more freely. We need you. I have to go. May Perlura keep you safe. I miss our waterfall, the roar of the water, the spray of the mist in the air. But I am so glad we did not abandon the temple. We did not leave it to be desecrated by demons. I thank the gods every day that Eliandra and Kater are with us. The temple wouldn't have survived without them. A small mushroom patch has clearly been tended with loving care. What a horrible fate for these people having to eat mushrooms for hundreds of years. Needless to say, I'm not a fan of mushrooms. Let's go this way.
I'm all done here.
Wow, 1,728 experience points. That's a good lore check. An inscription in Halit that reads, "Oh, Sarkoris, our tears are for you, our lost land." This is the cryptic message. First glance, this chart appears to be an ordinary constellation chart, but something about it doesn't seem quite right. Someone left this near the caves. Ambush the traitor. A dark figure stealthily approaches the drop location. In the dim light, you can see it's a middle-aged man. He looks around fervently as he reaches for the letter. Silently step out from your hiding place. The man finds nothing in the drop location and realizes a sigh of relief. He turns to leave and freezes when he sees you, the terror in his eyes, but he quickly regains his composure. The commander of Drezen, right? I am Vistari from the temple. I didn't expect to see you here. I was just taking a walk. Why are you mumbling? Tell me the truth or I'll shake it out of you. Vistari sighs deeply. All right, you don't live in the temple, so there's no need to hide anything from you. I'm breaking the law, but I haven't betrayed anyone. It's quite the opposite, actually. You should come with me and ask Christy about the meaning of the note. Christy always says she doesn't want to hide anymore, so maybe talking to you will ease her conscience. All right, let's go talk to Christy.
Let's move!
Stargazer, stargazer, stargazer. A statue of Perlura made in the simple but expressive style characteristic of Sarkoris. I yearn to be in the places of Lady Perlura. I long to fly again, to see my brothers and sisters, to be free. It is good that we can watch the stars without distraction. The temple used to conduct funeral ceremonies, but they were always very tiresome. All right, that is same one someone else said. Got doors, we can go exploring, or we can go talk to the other people. Under the Hand of the Inheritor. Deva, Perlura's Fallen Guard. Let's go exploring.
Follow me.
Someone has put a plate of food scraps near a hole in the wall, hoping to tame some small animal. A tiny woman runs her bony fingers along the top of several magic scrolls, her lips moving silently. Who are you? The old woman squints short-sightedly. And who are you? The voice is not familiar, and I can't see your face. No, I don't know you. My name is Vigdis. I once was a junior priestess of Perlura, and now I manage the temple's resources and provisions. I put everything where it belongs and keep it safe. If you were once a priestess of Perlura, why aren't you a stargazer like everyone else? The old woman laughs. My stargazing days are over. I only see what's under my nose. Lady Perlura decided my old eyes should have some rest after all these years. Are you a trader? A trader? No, no, there's no trade in the temple. Who would trade with us? I make sure everyone is fed and their needs are met. Whenever anyone brings me anything to the temple, they give it to me. Have you brought me something? Or perhaps it's the opposite. Is there something you wish to take? Everyone is free to take what they need. What if I want to take everything? Then you must have great need. Everything here belongs to everybody. Show me what your temple has in its stores. You may take or leave whatever you wish. Everything here is as much yours as it is ours. Well, we're going to fill up on potions. Ah, there is no cost. Wow. Well, I didn't keep these things. But we got to be even trades here. So 250, 1750. What's that? 2500, 5500. Okay. That we're not gonna worry about. That's oh yeah. There's zeros on these things. Let's do these. That should be fair. Oh, I have to go. May Perula keep you safe. There's some free stuff. See, now there's other things, but I'm not. I don't want to. I know she said everything is there. You know, everything is equally ours as theirs, but I don't want to take from them. These guys are sitting in the middle of this, the world wound. I've never liked crowds in cities. I could spend another 100 years in this temple. I miss our waterfalls. Yep, okay, same conversation. Greetings, brother. It is surprising to see a soul of a mortal shine so brightly. All right. So check out this area. Never liked crowds. Never seen a soul of a mortal. Bruh. Miss our waterfall. Katir's gaze is clear and direct as he greets you. I'm listening. Tell me about Sarkoris. I would rather not answer that question. Katir winces, then adds apologetically, I'm sorry, that was rude. It's just not many can boast that their country has been wiped off the face of Golorian. Not conquered, not decimated, but wiped out, along with all of its peoples, cities, forests, and rivers. And I watched it happen with my own eyes. I don't want to remember. I want everything like it was before. Do you know anything about Arilu Vorlesh and the opening of the world wound? May that witch be damned for all eternity, along with her progeny, if she has any. Yes, I know about her, though not much. There was no respect for arcane magic in Sarkoris, and there was no reason for our distrust. Divine spellcasters always have someone above them, someone who can control them. A dishonorable priest or a paladin will lose their powers immediately. Even with the priests of an evil god, an enemy, you still always know who they are and what to expect from them. But there is no higher authority for wizards, nothing limiting their might, or their experiments with the very essence of the world. Our elders tried to control the chaos the best they could, but they did not wish to be harsh. They didn't execute offenders on the spot. They simply put them in prison. Wizards weren't even forbidden from practicing magic. They simply had to do it under supervision. But with Arilu, everything went wrong. The witch managed to reach out to Discari directly from the fortress where she had been held, and then served up her country on a silver platter to the lords of the abyss. Ah, so she wasn't a demon to begin with. How do you manage to keep your life at the temple a secret? We made everyone believe that Pelura's fall was destroyed along with Sarkoris. We staged the destruction of the temple. It was 100 years ago now, but those of us who had families didn't even get to say goodbye. We couldn't let anyone from the outside world know that we were still alive and hiding in the temple. Since then, only a few of the most experienced rangers are allowed to leave the temple and go on raids. We do it secretly, pretending to be crusaders or cultists, and we go to great lengths to ensure we are not followed. So far, our tactics have been successful. We've survived here for 100 years, and I hope things continue that way. Locked up for 100 years to keep their watch, forgotten by everyone. Sounds familiar. Noticing Kater's eyes on him, Lan bows his head politely. I'm not judging. Your post, your watch. I have to go. That was interesting. Yeah, see the loot, but I can't.
March on!
Again, more loot, but I just can't, no. That would be so wrong. Oh. A schedule listing the daily responsibilities of the stargazers and gods. The schedule is packed so tightly, those who adhere to it must have little time to think of anything else. A table is set with bowls and unappetizing conjured food and glasses of water. It is clearly intended to be a feast, though it is a rather austere affair. I don't know. Reading is hard sometimes. Parcels wrapped in parchment are tied with string. Perhaps they are meant to be gifts. Miss our waterfalls. Thank the gods every day. The dwarf looks critically at the table that's been set for the feast. There, plates, cutlery. Still no nice cups, though. Just have to wrap the presents, and the dwarf notices you and gives you a friendly smile. We finally have guests in our quiet abode. Please come in, have a glass of water. Unfortunately, there is nothing else I can offer you, but our water is of the very purest quality. I'm Odin, by the way, a stargazer, at your service. What's the occasion? My daughter, Ranhild, turns 125 today. Such an important date calls for an important gift, but where could I get such a present? Well, luckily, there's some soft stone in the local caves, and I've carved her a clasp for a cloak. Came out all right, I think. Of course, when we complete our star vigil, I'll get her something better. Heh, it seems only like yesterday she was running around in her little shift, making me toss her in the air, and now 125. How time flies. Where's the guest of honor? Odin wilts slightly. Truth be told, I don't know. I can only hope she is in a safe place with her mother and aunts. Do you see the packages in the corner? Those are all the gifts I've never had a chance to give her. I suppose she's outgrown most of them. Aw. But what if I'm a grandpa now, eh? My grandchildren could have them. Ha! I wish I knew for sure. Odin pauses to think. Wait, you're from Drezen. You must know about Wintersun Village. Oh, there was a temple of Gorham there 100 years ago. Maybe it's still there. Oh, that's not good. I know that the priests of Gorham are hiding my family and other refugees when the invasion began. Please go to the temple and search for anything and anyone that might provide answers about what happened to my family. Even if the truth is bitter, I want to know. I cannot remain in blissful ignorance forever. Very well, I will find your daughter. You're putting aside your own important affairs just to help me. I don't know how to thank you. Odin gives you a small package. It's been carefully wrapped in parchment and tied neatly to a string. If you find Ranhild, please give her this. Let her know that her daddy always remembers her birthday, and give her all my love and good wishes. Yeah, but there's nobody in that temple. Maybe she's in the. Maybe one of his descendants is in the village. Pure water is very rare in the world wound. Do not underestimate its value. Of course, of course. From time to time, something stronger wouldn't hurt, eh? Odin chuckles good-naturedly. But we have strict rules about such things. Stargazer can't be seeing double, can he? I have to go. Go and fear nothing. The stars will be your guide. Find Ranhal's child at the shrine of Gorham near what? Yeah, but we were at that shrine, and that was not a good thing. Maybe there's another shrine. A rack filled with what looks to be ancient Sarkorian weapons.
What's that?
I thank the gods. Funerary dagger of Argal the Saint. Well, we're not here to steal things. I just wanted to see what it was. A pale young man is staring at you. Incredible! I did not think anyone could find this place. You are a gift from heaven. Oh, forgive my rudeness. I am Regnard, a stargazer. I'm very pleased to meet you. I think you might be the only one who can help me. Why am I the only one that can help you? The undead roam near the entrance to our caves. They were once great warriors, but now they are just corpses raised to death through some foul ritual. I've become very interested in one of them. You see, I study the history of Sarkoris. Legend tells of a great ruler named Aelbergid Berigi, who was buried with his mighty sword, the Rage of Ice. Of course, most people think it's just a myth, but when the guards told me they defeated an undead that was wearing ancient armor and wielding an ornate sword, I almost lost my mind. The guards don't want to get near the corpse again, even if he really is dead this time. But maybe you could bring me the Rage of Ice. Just think, we could prove Aelgeberic, the Master of Is, really existed. It would be a breakthrough in historical research. Why do you have so many weapons? I collect ancient Sarkorian artifacts and study their history. We all find ways to escape the monotony of life in the temple. If we didn't, I think we would lose our minds. Anyway, this is what I do. Thanks to Cabreri's cultists, there's plenty of material to be found for me to study, though it's somewhat lacking in variety. A young man such as yourself must find it difficult to be stuck in one place for so long. Regnard shakes his head sadly. A young man, you say? I've long forgotten how old I really am. By Purula's grace, my body does not age, but my soul feels dry, as if I'm nothing more than an empty husk. I used to admire the stars, but now all I see is a collection of dim lights in the skies. I know their paths by heart, but he stops abruptly. But you're probably not interested in all of that. Tell me about the atrocities committed by Cabreri cultists. Regnard sighs. You must have seen them. When the demons realized that the inhabitants of Iz were fleeing down the river, cultists of Cabreri, lord of ghouls, distributed the slumber of the noble chieftains who were sent to rest in the lake near the temple. The chieftains sailed on ornate barges to Purula's temple and then were sent on the waterfall. The water's all dried up now, of course, but at the time, it was part of the ritual ceremony. When they went on their final journey, the chieftains were dressed in their best armor, and their most prized weapons were placed at their side. They were also given a ritual dagger with an epitaph on the hill. According to the legend, the great chieftains were just sleeping and would awaken when Sarkoris was threatened. Regnard chuckles sadly. The legends were true, in a manner of speaking. They woke up, and thanks to the demons, they destroyed everyone who stood in their way. They still can't rest in peace, although the cultists have long since abandoned these lands. Luckily, the undead kill demons too. So in some strange way, I suppose our ancestors are protecting us. All right, I'll bring you the sword. Maybe. Ragnard's face lights up. I don't know how to thank you. If it's another one of those rage swords, which it kind of sounds like it is, that might be too bit bad. It must be nice to have somewhere to go. Well, poor guy. Oh, what's this? A board filled with complaints and suggestions. Some birthday greetings and announcement that Teriel is willing to teach the flute to anyone who wishes to learn.
Onwards.
Is Teriel who we're supposed to talk to? No. Christry. An elf stargazer is studying a pile of parchments. His appearance is disheveled, and his attention seems to be entirely focused on the calculations in front of him. And again, I knew it! This confirms everything. When the elf notices your presence, he looks up from his work. The commander of Drezen? Incredible! I never thought I'd hear those words. My name is Teriel, and I'm a stargazer. Tell me this, Commander. You make the rules in Drezen, but do you also abide by them? Yes, as the commander, I must set an example for my soldiers. Teriel looks at you in disbelief. Such noble words. It's been a long time since I've seen a leader who doesn't think they're above the rules. That's an interesting thought. You must know the person I'm talking about, of course. Kater? Are you trying to accuse Kater of something? I've known him for ages. Trust me, we were close friends a long time ago. He certainly knows how to make a good impression, but if you look beyond his fake exterior, you'll begin to see his true nature. Teriel points to the parchments, which are filled with 3 columns of strange digits and symbols. Look for yourself. It's obvious. A week ago, it was a stone tree. 3 months ago, It was the outskirts of Wintersun, and 20 years ago it was outside of Drezen. 50 years ago it was Iz, and finally 70 years ago the Stone Tree. I assume he is visiting someone, most likely a woman. Teriel glances at you and frowns. Ah, yes, forgive me. I haven't spoken to anyone about this for a while. To me, this is clear as day. I can understand how you might find my calculations confusing. The stars tell me about Kater's movements, and I can assure you, sometimes he goes to places that are not filled with demons and cultists, but with wine and women. Take Drezen, for example. You see, Kater has forbidden everyone who remained in the temple from seeing their family. He says it is dangerous, and that we must keep the secret of our lair. The elf's lips curl with distaste. But for some reason, this rule doesn't apply to him. We all vowed to stay within the walls and fulfill our duty, yet he gets to leave the temple whenever he wants. So where is it that he goes out? So what is he up to out there? That's what that sentence says. I'd bet my life that he's going to see his wife, Ymiris, or some other woman. What other reason could he have to go to the stone tree? Drezen was still under the control of demons 20 years ago. If you'd really been keeping an eye on Kater, you should know that. Teriel considers this. You're right. I keep forgetting about what happened to Drezen. It's hard to remember everything. But on one thing I'm absolutely clear. Kater went to the stone tree 70 years ago, and I know that because we haven't spoken since then. A shadow falls over Teriel's face, but his sadness quickly gives way to anger. Well, of course, I have no need to keep track of his comings and goings. Why would I? And when I don't speak to him. But when he's been away for a long time, Elidriel asked me counsel on him to make sure he's still alive. That's why I have these calculations. So you see, it's nothing personal. I simply want to, I simply want what's best for the temple. What is the stone tree? It's a tall tree, withered and petrified, even before the demons invaded. For some reason, it remains standing. It's supposed to be a sacred place. They used to hold ceremonies and weddings there. Ymiris and Katir got married there too, you know, so it all makes sense. Why don't you tell Ileandra that Katir is breaking the rules? Do you really think she'd believe me? She trusts Katir more than any of us. She and Katir agree on everything. She'll always take his side. All right, I'll find out where Katir goes. Teriel nods in satisfaction. Excellent. He's definitely stopped at the stone tree. I wouldn't be surprised if he's cozying up to some beauty from Wintersun in a cave there. He's probably feasting with her and laughing at us fools for trusting him. I have to go. May Perula keep you safe. Now, where did I put my quill? All right, so we are just over that hour mark. Got stuck in a conversation, as seems to happen regularly. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the comments, hit the submit button. Speaking is hard today as well. Hit the subscribe button, all that stuff. I really appreciate it all. Thanks again for watching. I have been Sir Joseph. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll talk to you later.